Hello, everyone. This is Pastor Nathaniel here with an update, but also I wanted to do a couple things. I want to give you an update. I wanted to go ahead and give you a little bit of a leadership lesson, some of the things that I'm learning, and my goals of where I'm going from here, where this ministry is going, and the organization that I'm trying to build or project. I don't know if I'm going to call it a project or organization. Maybe you can help me with that. So that's going to be basically the baseline in the next 15 minutes of where I'm going with this. So let me go ahead and just start with this. The update is, if you saw my video a couple weeks ago, I was leaving Richmond, Virginia to come back to Lancaster, Ohio. The deal was my buddy, I'll call him Door Kicker, he doesn't want me to disclose his name, was mentoring me on leadership. He's honestly, aside from John Maxwell, he's on the John Maxwell team. He's probably one of the best leaders I've ever met. But he was mentoring me free of charge because he saw my heart and what I'm trying to do. So the payment he wants from me is to use what he taught me to help others. So that's what I'm doing, and that's been on my heart ever since I started this. So anyways, also when I was there, I wasn't just helping him with his things, but we got so busy in the things that he was doing and the way he was going that I didn't have time to orchestrate the networking event that we were. The networking event was going to help me invest a lot into this ministry and help me get my apartment right away and stuff like that, because I've invested literally everything almost that I own, besides a few pieces of clothing, my laptop, so I can do my ministry stuff, and very few other things into ministry and leadership. I've invested literally my life into doing that, and it has not been a mistake, or it's not a regret or anything. It's helped a lot of people, and it's helped me grow in faith and as a leader. So, the update is this. I'm now back in Lancaster. I'm temporarily in a shelter. I'm temporarily homeless. Okay? You may ask, okay, so you're going to teach us a leadership lesson in a shelter. You're homeless. Just bear with me. Bear with me. So the update is that. Now, I want to go ahead and say this statement before I go into the lesson and so forth. 7 months ago, I started doing this ministry full time. And I didn't know how I was going to do what the Lord did. And the one prayer that I've had almost ever since then, I actually started about a month and a half, 2 months after I started doing it full time. Just living fully on donation. I ran out of money a long time ago, and the Lord just kept providing. A way for me to help others, a way to get my bills paid, and a way to feed myself, even though it wasn't a lot. And I was thankful. Okay. Anyways, I pray the Lord makes me the leader that He needs me to be, not who I want to be. Okay? I try to pray that every single day, because that's the truth. Anyways. So, the one thing in this project, the organization, the way this ministry is going is I want to help the homeless. Let me ask you something. Would you be able to ride a bike just by word of mouth, hearing it from your friend? Because if you have 3 friends, they're going to probably tell you 3 different ways or stories, or apply this much force, apply this much balance, or even driving a car. Best thing to do is go and live it. So the Lord has placed this on my heart to want to help the homeless. That's part of the organization that I'm trying to build. How else would I be able to do that unless I've lived it and I've seen it through my own eyes? This right here is a blessing to what I'm trying to go and do, of helping people, including the homeless. And what's the one common thing that now there's a difference between a homeless person and a bum. And I say this to every single one of them. A bum is someone that does not want to try at all. And sadly, there is some that make $1,100 a month on disability and don't want to try to work at all. They don't care. They'd rather spend it on alcohol and drugs. A homeless person is a type that, unfortunately, rather courses and other things in life got them to where they are because of past drug and alcohol addictions, or trying to get away from them, or whatever it may be. They lost their home or they lost their job, so they have to humble themselves to go to a shelter, and they're homeless. It doesn't mean they're a bum. It doesn't mean that they're trying. But the 2 common things they have from day one in that shelter is, I got to find a job and I got to find a house. Who's to say we, the church, meaning every believer around the whole world, around the whole United States, who's to say our temples of worship cannot ally together and help these people? Who's to say that the churches, the temples of worship, could not start small businesses for these people to go and work? I wrote a quote a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was about a month, and it goes like this. The quote that I wrote is, it's true and exactly in the point that I'm at right now. And again, you may be asking yourself, if you're homeless, what leadership do you have? Just bear with me when I go into leadership lesson. Let me just go ahead and say this, and then I'm going to go ahead and I need your help on something. I need to know if I'm going to call this an organization or a project. But anyways, this is the quote. A leader is never placed into an area without a problem. A leader is placed into an area with a problem and guides others to be the solution. Okay? We're placed into an area to help lead people away from the situation. They are the solution. But we can lead them to that solution. And then they can be the solution. Does that make sense? Okay, so going on the project name, I'm thinking of calling it this. Now, the one verse that sticks out to me every single time I read it, every single time I pray about it, what am I going to name this? What am I going to title it? H29. Well, that stands for Haggai chapter 2, verse 9, because this is honestly out of everything that I'm trying to build in this organization, not just helping the homeless, goes on these lines is this. Haggai chapter 2, verse 9, the glory of the latter house, which is the temple of worship, the house of God, a church building. The latter means in days or later days. The glory of the latter house shall be greater than the former, saith the Lord of hosts. And in this place I will give peace, saith the Lord of hosts. Now, one person said after I was trying to tell how I'm trying to get the church to start working together, he's like, man, why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? I said, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. Remember that quote that I wrote? I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is cracked. I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to help the body of Christ and lead our communities, because we can. Who's to say we, the church, can stand up and rise and lead our communities and help our communities? Nothing does. And we can. We can make a difference. God has called us to be courageous, to be warriors for Him, to lead people to Him. Imagine every single church, temple, building, okay, congregation working together and going out and doing outreach. Imagine helping other people in the community and then offering them a chance to go to church. Not demanding, but offering, saying if you want to come to church, you're welcome. Imagine how many more people, the main mission you have as a pastor is salvations, leading people to Christ. Imagine how many more salvations would happen if we stopped going like this because of different denominational names. I'm a non-denominational pastor, okay? But if we just put the names, the denominational names aside and just be Christians because we're followers of Christ, we've been saved by the King of Kings. We follow Him. We follow His ways. That makes us Christians. So that's what I am. So, going on to the leadership aspect lesson of this. Portion, I should say. Okay, so one of the things that John Maxwell teaches is this. Okay. Leadership is not about position or rank. Leadership is position. Think about that. Because leadership, really when it boils down to it, well, how do I become a leader? Leadership equals influence. Influence equals leadership. Because if you're adding value to people, you're helping them. You're growing them. They then start to follow you. But the best leader, a good leader, is someone that wants to transform followers. No, that's a good, I'm sorry. A good leader has followers, but a great leader transforms his followers into other leaders. Okay? So, let me read this to you again, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I've done thus far in this position that the Lord has blessed me with. In his book that I'm reading and studying, The 360-Degree Leader, on page 7, he says this: leadership is a choice you make, not a place you sit. Anyone can choose to be a leader, wherever he is or she is. You can make a difference no matter where you are. Again, leadership does not mean position. You're at the top. Honestly, if you're all the way up the top, you're not a leader. You want to network with people. You want to be where the people are so you can help them, so you can network, so you can expand, so they can lead, so you can influence others. So again, remember this. Leadership equals influence. Influence equals leadership. What I've done this far, and I say this humbly, I've led one person to Christ. So far, it's been 9 days since I've been in the shelter. And I say that humbly because I'm humbled every single time the Lord presents an opportunity that he sends someone into my life to lead them to him, the true leader. Because again, I pray the Lord makes me the leader he needs me to be, not who I want to be. Okay? I've also helped motivate people. I've counseled some of them. And guess what? The same person that gave his life to Christ, I'm teaching him some of the leadership stuff that I've gained, the wisdom and knowledge that I have, and guess what he's doing? He's going out and teaching it to others. Influence equals leadership. Leadership equals influence. I say that humbly. I'm not anywhere near where John Maxwell is. But where you are today, you can help somebody. You can help motivate somebody. You can lead somebody. Again, leadership is a choice. Being a pastor is a choice. It's a point of position that is leadership. But also with that choice comes a choice of having the responsibility to help others, to teach others, to motivate others, to lead others, but most importantly, to train them to lead others. I'm a disciple, leading people to Christ to become disciples, having them learn how to lead people to Christ. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to do. So no matter where you are, you can lead wherever you are. Just because I got an interview at a great job that I'm have faith that I'll get, I say that humbly, and I plan to use what I learn in leadership in that job. Not to overstep anybody, but to help the company I work for grow, to expand, to go higher, to rise together. The same thing in this ministry is if we started working together and be we the church, we can change our communities. Now, let's see if there's one more thing here I should read. No, that's pretty much good. But I will say this. I cannot do this alone. Okay? I don't want to do this alone. I want to help others, and I know there's others out there that want to help others. Now, I'm not asking for help. That's one thing John says. If you're asking people to help, you're asking for followers, that's not a good sign. No, I'm asking for leaders that see my heart and what I'm trying to do and would like to help that and be a part of this team. Because I got one person I'm working with so far that wants to be a part of this. Join me. We'll work as a team. There is no I in team. I'm at the same level as you are. But the main common ground that we have is wanting to help others and change communities. So I'll leave you with this. I pray for our leadership and everything is the leadership wheel in itself, not aside from the church, is broken. So again, that's why it's so important that we stand up and lead. Okay. I only got a few more minutes here left, so let me just go ahead and end with this. My plan, my 8-month plan, I'm just going to go over this quickly. Let me just summarize. A week from now, I want to be looking at a full work week. I want to be able to get into my apartment within the first paycheck that I can, Lord willing. 1 month goal, settled in, working, doing my ministry projects from home on my day off, promoting what I'm doing just as I'm doing now. Letting my community know what I'm trying to do, and it's already happening. Starts a savings to get on the John Maxwell team so I can become a certified John Maxwell leadership and teacher, seminar teacher, because that's the second job. Start taking on action on my project, more marketing, getting people on board, possibly starting a networking event with small businesses. That's kind of on the side. 3-month goal, still working, doing my first sermon in front of an actual congregation instead of online, which if it doesn't happen, it doesn't. Have 2 or 3 people on my team training to do this and getting ready to go out, start the organization in other areas, starting to teach seminars. 6-month goal, still working, have a team trained and prepared to go out and do a seminar, basically organizing seminars, starting to go out and, hey, if you want to get on board with this, work together and network and, get some leaders around the community and churches to this thing. At the 6-month goal, I want to be close to or on the John Maxwell team. It's a $5,500 investment. Have people in my local area aware of what I am doing, not who I am, what I am trying to do. 8-month goal, still working, my team or I both doing a seminar, our first seminar, locally or elsewhere, putting funds that we get, because basically one of the things we're going to do is charge for that seminar, but we're going to put 25 to 30% of what we made in that into a fund to go out and help others in disaster areas, other communities around, like Detroit, just basically to help people. You got a loved one in the congregation that just lost their husband overseas, or just got injured on the job. They're not going to make it. Just help as many people as we can. I know I can't change the world, but I can help the people in the world with His help leading me. Everything revolves around Him. He leads me to do what I do. Okay, not myself. Anyways, have 10 or more churches, temples of worship on board doing this H29 project in this city or states around. Have 3 or more states from this one aware of what this project is, and instead of starting to change communities, showing the change in communities by this project. So by the time a year rolls around, this will basically be what I do the rest of the Lord's time He has for me on this earth. The rest of the time I have. So I'll leave you with this: is the leadership in our communities, it's great, some of it's not. The problem is people always say, we need better leadership, we need this, we need that, we need a better leader. Well, the problem is people always do that and say we need to go and look for that leader instead of be that leader. God bless people, and please pray for Syria, for salvations around the world, for Israel. Pray for people first. If you want to pray for me, I appreciate it. Make it last. All right, because the Lord has me in the palm of His hand, and I trust Him every way He leads me. God bless. If you want my contact information, it'll be below in the description.